The warm waters that lap the southern Californian coast see some of the world's most diverse marine life, including dolphins, sea lions, and the spectacular grey whale. But first, I was greeted by some of the 450,000 dolphins that live in these waters.
Woo! They're such show-off. Locals liken this place to the Serengeti in Africa. There, wildlife graces the plains. Here, sea life graces the waters. Just look at this, it's a dolphin stampede.
However, the star of the show is the grey whale, which passes by as it makes one of the longest mammalian migrations in the world, from the calving lagoons off the Mexican coast back home to the cold Alaskan waters. Their lengthy 12,000-mile round trip takes them travelling right through the community of Dana Point, just south of LA. And here, finally, I managed to spot one.
Oh, there's the whale. Oh, yeah, there.
I can just about make out the characteristic grey-white patterns that give them their name. These are actually external parasites, which give their skin the appearance of barnacle-encrusted rock. For Donna Kayles, preserving these magnificent creatures in their habitat is a life's work.
It's everything to us, and if we can share our wealth of knowledge with someone else and they leave here with a better understanding of their marine life, that's what we're here for.
And this year, thanks to Donna and her colleagues, Dana Point became a World Whale Heritage Site. Like Hervey Bay in Australia and the Bluff in South Africa, the accolade recognises outstanding locations where cetaceans are embraced by a local community. It was a big moment for Donna and her friend Gisele.
That was our ultimate goal, is to be a World Whale Heritage Site, and now we are.
Yeah,
so we're so excited.
That's really exciting.
Dana Point has proved its commitment to sustainable dolphin and whale watching.
In a broader term, we want to educate the public on dolphins and whales so that they have a stronger sense of those animals in their lives, so that maybe they take steps to protect them.
After being near extinction in the 1950s, the grey whale population in the Eastern Pacific has rebounded to an estimated 19,000. It's considered healthy stock, and in 1994, the grey whale was removed from the endangered species list. Though the World Heritage Site accolade came out of dedicated teamwork, Donna and Gisele didn't always have such a friendly rapport. They do, after all, own two rival whale-watching companies just down harbour from each other.
Tell me about, you two. You were rivals.
We were rivals, and there was a time that we didn't talk for a while.
Yes.
Working together towards a mutual goal put most of the bad blood at bay.
I think our working together and being on the same side of the table with a much bigger picture in mind, it is so much more rewarding and fun.
Every year, the town celebrates their devotion to the sea life off their coast with a whale festival, now in its 50th year. It was Donna's father who founded it 5 decades ago.
First of all, I want to thank God for letting me live to be 87 years old to be here for the 50th year.
I'm going to hand you this, so you can get a picture with that.
I love looking at whales. I've seen every whale I could think of, but it was an idea of mine to take the children out to look at the whales and see the ocean.
At the opening ceremony for this year's festival, an ancient ritual is underway. First Nation leader Adelia gives ashes to the ocean out of deep respect for the whales.
I gave a whale blessing, and then I read a prayer in our language.
To this community, there is little distinction between them and the revered cetaceans.
Our ancestors, they considered themselves to be relations to the whales and the dolphins.
Then out of nowhere, these just whales just pop up out of the surface.
An important aim of the festival is to share this knowledge and passion for marine mammals with children, in the hope that the next generation will be invested in their conservation.
Now, why do you think that is? I'll give you a hint.
We want them to take away some of those moments where they can feel like impacted and inspired, and maybe they want to go home and start recycling or not use as much plastic, whatever the case may be, but that they feel like they've been empowered and inspired to make their community a better place.
So tell me what the whales mean to you.
Well, they're really cool and interesting, so it would be really nice to study them. I think it's pretty cool to know that there's something bigger than you out there.
To preserve these animals for those future generations, the importance of conservation now cannot be underestimated, for these animals face many challenges around the world.
Nearly 1,000 dolphins and whales are being entangled in fishing gear and nets every day around the world.
Even everyday objects like helium balloons that have not been disposed of correctly pose a serious threat.
Mylar balloons, they lose their coloring in the ocean and they look like a plastic bag, which looks like a jellyfish, which animals, marine life eat.
As aquaparks and animals in captivity are being phased out across the world, Gisele and her husband Dave know that catching a glimpse of these elusive beasts in their natural habitat is an increasingly important part of our relationship with these sea creatures.
One of my favorite quotes that Dave would say is that, if you were to go to Africa to see the animals, you wouldn't go see them in the zoo. You would go out into the wild to see them, and that's why we love what we do, because we get to offer people that opportunity to see them in their own environment.
Through their conservation and education work, and now with the Whale Heritage Site status, Gisele and Donna hope to preserve these sites for generations to come.
Many people have said that when they come out and they see whales and dolphins in nature for the first time, it changes their life.
I think that when people get outdoors in nature and they have that kind of an experience with the animals, it is so powerful, and it improves their sense of well-being and their health and just their outlook on life.